Howdy, and welcome to the Round Table for Red Dirt D&D. I'm Michael Cross.
Connor Schnold.
Kiri Hester.
Brooke Bullock.
Johnny Payne.
Kim Cross.
And Aiden Cross.
And what a wonderful episodes 21 through 24. We ended out Johnny's campaign and started Brooks. I thought we had a really great time. You know, being dead.
It's better than I thought.
Yeah, wasn't quite as bad. Johnny, you want to walk us through what exactly we had to do?
In the beginning. So, you had to find the MacGuffin. That was it. That was all you had to do. It was that simple. You found someone who knew exactly where it was. And he sent you right where you needed to go to get it. And you got it, and he came back.
And there were only like 97 suspicious characters that we had to deal with in between.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so, you had to go get it in the afterlife, or whatever name we're going to give to it.
Yeah.
And he didn't not tell you not that. He just said, I know where it is, and I know how to send you there. Have some tea.
Didn't seem important.
And he did exactly what he said he would do, and everything worked out fine.
See, I thought it was like planar shift tea.
You shifted.
Not necessarily,
shift tea.
not necessarily death shift tea.
Well, it was perspective shifting tea.
He was not strong in the details.
Yeah.
Good times.
Good time. Sorry, I'm trying to log into our Instagram. I need to stop doing this.
Yes, you do.
Content.
I know.
Yeah. So no. There was actually nothing suspicious about what he was doing and how he was doing it. That was just his way of doing it. He just thought, like, oh, I'm so excited to help these people. Yay. He's unique. I can't give too much away about him, about Paulson and why and what happened.
Well,
but once you got there,
go
there's a whole new set of rules to live by. There's a different world. There was a clock ticking. Y'all started feeling sad. Like what was going on? Why are things worth it? The funnest part was whenever I realized I have to change Jessica's tumbleweeds, which are something dead anyways. And so I grabbed Connor and was like, hey, I'm going to do a thing with your tumble. You're going to look down and not see them, but when you just like instinctively muscle memory kick in and try and move, I'm going to make something special happen with that. I also wanted to try and create a character that would be able to be moved on into other DMs sessions. Paulston, a little bit of that, and then Martin Falston. As well.
Which is just a coincidence. They're not related.
Right. And your characters know nothing of Martin Falston.
Right.
Other than what you experienced.
And then we think
he's...
And we're suspicious of him. That's what we know.
He's a nice guy.
We don't like
He's just a nice guy helping people out.
He stole a dead man's backpack.
The man was already dead, and he gave it to you to return to his kin. It's all perspective.
I believe we've already forgotten that we need to go give his backpack back.
Oh, yeah.
They don't live in the woods.
They don't live in the woods.
So it's going to be something we have to come back to if we
one
leave
day
the
it's
woods.
going to happen.
Yeah.
So remember
We just had to haul around this bag.
Remember when your dad went on that hiking trip and he didn't come back 37 years ago?
When he went out, came back.
Here's his rations.
Here's his rations.
I think my favorite moment was when we realized that Kiri/Billy had forgotten to be leaving pennies. Copper pieces.
Listen,
Yes.
and the way that it really was just because I had forgotten to continue doing it or mention that I was doing it at all, and multiple things had happened, and so I was like, yeah, Billy hasn't. He immediately forgot that he was supposed to be doing that.
I think the greatest part that I love about Johnny's is like how many things that we interacted with, but also by interacting, I mean we just ran away from.
Yes.
Yeah, so there was some comments made in this room about how yours really lacked combat, and I'm like, y'all ran away from things that I wanted to fight. Like one of my biggest ultimate combats was going to be with the mystery woman, and y'all were just like, let's just back up slowly.
Let's just leave her.
She reset because she's trapped in a loop of her own demise. Let's just go around her then.
Yeah.
The clock was ticking.
And
Right.
You gave us this
Clock was
clicking
ticking.
talk, and this
I do want to
clicking talk.
apologize, Johnny. During the session, it didn't seem like we were doing it that often, but listening back, I was like, ooh, we really did just...
Yeah.
Run away.
But I think
fine.
also behind the scenes, and I get to say the famous line, Michael, edit this out if we need to. I think you also kind of adjust some things, not necessarily on the fly, but because of some IP issues, you were like, oh, we're probably not going to encounter that person.
Yeah,
And so.
So the lady in waiting was actually to replace someone because of an IP issue, and so it was like. But at the point, there was going to be a fight that was going to be a pretty big, horrifying. If y'all would have actually triggered her into combat. More things would have shown up.
Oh,
like things
God.
in the woods were going to start swirling.
Okay, so
And it was going to be an epic. Secretly, I wanted to kill one of you to show you what it was like when you were quote unquote still alive in the real world, but your body was here and you died here.
Oh,
Yeah. Now, what happens to the ones who've been trapped here for 100 years would be different than what happened to y'all because there was still a tiny bit of silver tether
Yes.
holding
Yes.
you back. But so, spoiler alert, since it's not, since we're done with that, is you would have woke up in your body and nothing could have returned you back to it for like 24 hours. So you would have been. But the fun part was I was going to make you go sit in the lounge and play on your phone, so that you as a person had no idea what was going on, so that you as a character had to learn through role play and discovery.
Oh, wow.
hilarious.
What was your stat block that you had for the woman?
I don't have her up here anymore, but she was she was very unique stat block. She was a form of Lich,
Oh,
Nice.
but she also had a full class character sheet stat block. Too.
oh my gosh.
Yeah. So yeah.
So you're telling me Zionzi being a cleric and using turn undead
Yeah.
was a clutch decision.
So what was going to happen? Because in the world, the way I was making it was, you retain who you are, but you also start. So if you come into this as a druid, you also become something that's undead and take on its abilities. So you'll get
that's
the
really
aura
wild.
around you of fear, but you also are a druid. And so
okay.
you'll have not all of the druidic abilities, but some of the druidic abilities would still retain. So like if she was a barbarian in real life, she would be able to rage, but she's also has these powers over here of
Yeah.
being undead. Yeah.
That's cool.
I
crazy.
spent the whole session waiting for the wolves that we killed to come back for
up, yeah.
us. They never did.
Luckily, we didn't go down that path.
Yeah.
The fun part would have been stopping and finding the beholder.
Yeah.
Which y'all ran from that.
Yeah.
Which
Jessica was on fire.
Yeah.
I had to get back. I'm sorry.
One of you decided to stay back and try to.
Yeah.
And what a triumphant moment. But we got a lot of cover before we get there.
But I did love the fact that in this realm there was almost like with Ravenloft, there's that despair aspect to
Yeah.
it. That we had to stay talking and getting to know each other better.
Yep.
Billy's 21 questions.
Billy's
What can I say?
What did your favorite
Except
caller?
you're welcome. What is your father's name?
Aw, hell.
Yeah, I really enjoyed role playing that out because, like, Johnny is
gosh,
describing,
yes.
like, we're all starting to feel like this loneliness. We were talking, feeling that connection, and then all of a sudden we stopped talking, didn't feel that, and so really good, like, character, like,
Yeah.
development kind of through that. Just us actually getting a chance to know each other.
Our
was also-
campfire talk became a walking talk.
Yeah.
The other thing, though,
Yeah.
is that people are not going to believe that it was. There's no script there. There
Yeah,
was
it
no
was
plan.
unscripted.
You had
Oh,
no
gosh.
idea when you were
So-
sharing Jessica's
yeah,
stuff. You
so-
had no idea where this was going, did you?
So going into that, part of the misery and despair was knowing that the MacGuffin was on the other side of the barrier of the veil.
Yeah.
And when you got there, you were going to be tempted to stay. And so that was that misery and despair was going to play into it because it was going to be. And I had something marked down. I can pull it up right now and show it to you. It was unscripted. For each one of you, it had your name and then what was going to keep you. And Jessica had hinted at some
Yeah,
Gideon stuff that
'cause-
like our characters didn't know so much, but Johnny knew.
Yeah.
So I had something for you. Billy was going to meet himself as a little boy. Beatrix was going to enter a world of. So the ideal thing for a cat would be keys hanging on a string, catching the sunlight. But no. They were locks.
Oh, and you could just try all the keys.
No, not
It
try.
gets
not-
better. It
not-
gets better.
Not try them all. You somehow intuitively know what each key on your ring goes to
Oh,
each
wow,
lock,
that's
and you
awesome.
know the one that takes you home.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And that's what Johnny and I were talking about as you guys kind of came up and opened the door for us this morning, is that for Beatrix, I think that would have been really hard because Beatrix doesn't have the same emotional connection to us as the rest of us do.
Right.
You've only been here a few days. So it would have been really hard for her to be like, I could go home to my family who I love and adore, or I could hang out with these mostly
Weirdos.
strangers.
Yeah.
Weird people
So-
who got me killed.
And Ziansi was going to get a tail.
So when the conversation about we need to be having conversation, and Jaska says, "Are we really friends?" And so Kim got very excited for Beatrix in that moment because that's when Beatrix got to figure out, oh, maybe I'm not as much
An
of an
outsider.
outlier in
Oh,
this.
nice.
Maybe I'm coming in at a point where I have a chance to get to be part of this group more than I am right now because maybe they're still getting to know each other.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of excitement going on in
There
this chair
was-
right here for a moment.
Yeah.
Some great Billy doesn't understand words moments. I thought you said your parents were shopkeepers, but they are mercenaries.
No, they have a mercantile.
Hi, I am Billy. I'm Amber Mextras.
Yes. It was
Had just Beatrix when she's obviously she vamped away from her friends and family and has been spending different lives in different areas. Has Beatrix basically been alone in those places? I mean, you've known acquaintances and stuff like that, but is this the first time you've really had a true group to hang out with?
This is the first time that Beatrix has immediately been put into a situation where some sort of bonding needed to occur for survival's sake. Yes, usually she just shows up someplace and it's like, new kid in town, go figure out where's the store and where are these people and it takes a little while to get going. And in here it was just, oh, okay, we have to survive this now because this is happening. So it was. Yeah, this is a first experience for Beatrix.
Yeah.
See, that's really cool because that gives almost a family experience that you've never had before since you've left your family.
Since I've quite a while ago.
The dark macabre part is that I also knew what was going to happen if you just said, "Cool, I'll stay." To any of you.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Are you telling me it's not happiness?
No.
If
course not.
Beatrix
It's a trap.
had decided
Yeah.
to stay.
Yeah, if you were with Gideon, if you decided to stay.
Let me ask you this.
The thing is the other side was tempting you to not come back through the barrier.
Yeah, right.
If you'd have stayed, what would have happened? Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a trap.
we just had
It was a
such,
trap. Yeah, it was basically the sirens were calling.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Nicely
Like
done.
I think everything fell into place like pretty perfectly, and not just because it was Jaska, my favorite girl, who it happened to.
So perfect.
Well, because like we were doing the questions, and I was like, you know what? Like I really haven't actually told the party
Right.
anything about me actually looking for Gideon, other than just mentioning it like at, like the first episode.
I'm looking for my mentor.
And so like when like we were having the questions and I said like, hey, I do have some like lore dumps, just to kind of squeeze it in there. So if anything did happen, I wasn't expecting it in Johnny's. I thought it was going to be in Aiden's.
Oops.
Oops. So I was like, well, let's just go ahead and kind of foreshadow a little bit of that.
Yeah,
'cause
yeah.
I knew there
Yeah.
were some things in play about Jaska and Gideon. And so I was just like, yeah, just ask me some questions. I have lore to dump for Jaska. And then the next episode, what happened?
So another thing
All
too
the
is it's been
things.
brought up that is this scripted a lot, and
Yeah.
it's going to sound like it really was. But Michael, tell them how uncomfortable I made you when I
Yeah.
said, and Michael edited this out, so the audience doesn't hear it. But I said, Michael, I need you to play Gideon.
Right.
Go,
Yeah,
just
you-
do it.
Do you want to
So,
do this?
Yeah, and so I want to talk about that after the break because we're at the 15-minute mark right now.
How can we find out more?
Y'all, if you want to listen to the rest of this and get information about that, plus I also asked Johnny about what would have happened had Ziansi or Blackjack gone in as well. You got to become Patreon members right now because they're going to get the full version of this roundtable. So if you want to do that, go to patreon.com/reddirtdnd. You can join at any level that works best for you. We are working on new Patreon levels. So they actually should be there probably very soon. It's so much fun. Plus, you get our Discord server. You get to be in that. You get to have access to our episodes 4 days early. And we're going to have bonus content on the Patreon. So go over to patreon.com/reddirtdnd to find out more. In the meantime, we're going to head to the long version of the roundtable right now.